Cupertino isn't just getting a donut-shaped spaceship-like building with the construction of Apple's new campus. The new Apple headquarters will also bring in at least 7,400 new employees, along with millions of dollars in construction costs and infrastructure development for the city. This according to a report from consulting firm Keyser Marston Associates. Our editor-at-large, Cory Johnson, is here with more. So what are these employees going to be doing?
Well, let's back up first. Cupertino might not be getting anything unless Apple can convince Cupertino to let them build this thing. So this is a report that Apple contracted to have done, and the goal of this report is using Apple dollars to write a report that says, hey, Cupertino, we're going to do great things for Cupertino. So this cool, Apple's been accused of navel gazing in the past. Now they're designing a headquarters where they will literally be looking at each other. But the notion of the design for this space is really cool, but they're talking a lot about what it's going to mean for the community in terms of employment, taxes, community development, temporary employment, temporary sales taxes. It's a really interesting look at what it's like to be employed in Silicon Valley and what the employment of people in Silicon Valley does to a community.
How so?
Okay, so, well, first of all, there's just the building, right? So you see the construction taxes of $38 million. That assumes that all the supplies will be purchased in Cupertino. Public improvements, so the roads that lead to it, the parks that will be near it, and so on. The construction jobs, for example, they're saying there'll be 12,600 jobs created by this project, 73% of them in construction. So just the construction alone is going to lead to a lot of employment, a lot of spending. Apple says they're going to try to convince their contractors to make the sales point for all the, all the drywall, all the concrete, all the steel, to happen at Cupertino, so the sales taxes generated will actually go to Cupertino as opposed to, say, San Francisco or elsewhere.
And this was, of course, one of Steve Jobs' pet projects. One of his last public appearances was before the Cupertino City Council to talk about this very project. So they're also adding more Apple employees. What are those employees? So
Apple has been buried in this report are some of these details, and I tweeted out the link to the raw report. It's a fascinating read. Apple's been growing employees in Cupertino at an 18% annual rate, at a CAGR of 18%. They're bringing down that assumption, saying if we only grow at 10%, we're going to get to 23,400 employees in Cupertino. So they're actually saying we're not going to add too many people. We're going to slow down our rate of hiring, but it's still going to get to over 23,000 people by the time this headquarters are completed. But among the interesting things that I found in here, one last detail. 14% of Apple employees currently live in San Francisco and endure that crummy commute that you and I have gone through so often.
They probably have a pretty sweet bus, though.
They have a lovely bus, many of them with Wi-Fi included, and I still think a lot of Apple employees can't stand that commute but love this fair city.
All right. Well, the spaceship may or may not be coming to Cupertino, but we will, of course, be watching closely in 2016. Okay, thanks, Cory.